Welcome back to Doug's Basement Workshop. Today we are on a new computer, so we'll see if this recording looks any better. If you hear any crunching sounds, the dog has a bone across the room from us, and she is having a great old time. We're trying to eliminate doggy boredom by giving her stuff to chew on. Okay, so we are going to do something a little different. You've all seen this palette project before. If you're a Glowforge person, this is not a new and exciting project. But we're going to try and put a different spin on it. Now, this is on MDF. We're going to engrave with the proof grade engraving, which is deeper than what I usually use, which is my stitch marker settings. So we're going to go with the typical engraving. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, we're not going to do a typical engraving because this is thinking that it's a picture, and I don't want to engrave on picture settings because it'll take forever. We will do stitch marker is 900 by 79. Cherry wood is 1000 by 84. Let's try the cherry wood settings and see if it's going to be deeper than what I usually get. I'm going to cut out the button here for the Glowforge button. I'm going to engrave these and cut out the palette last. So let's go see how this comes out. And maybe we'll find something a little bit different, a little bit fun to put in these holes instead of doing the acrylic like I'm supposed to. So yes, I shut the video off and I'm starting it up again so we can see how long this is going to take. Alright, this is only going to take us 30 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay, so I took it out of the laser and I don't love it. I'm going to cut this out as a second piece to do a compare and contrast and see if I think this is going to work better. So it's only 2 minutes 15 seconds, much less time because we're just going to cut everything out. Hi, welcome back to Doug's Basement Workshop. I think I've already done the intro, but I'm not sure where this is all going to fall together, so we'll just do it twice, and welcome back. So I want to make one of those Glowforge things that goes over the button, but I don't have colored acrylic. I have whatever came when I bought my laser, and I've just never bought colored acrylic, and I don't really want to cut acrylic in the winter because I can't really air the house out. So I thought, well, I could just etch it and paint the little circles in. I thought, well, that's kind of boring. I want something a little bit different. I don't want to go quite so generic. So this is the one you're supposed to cut out on real wood. Then you cut the acrylics and you drop the acrylics in. This is the one that I made with kind of a little dish because I wanted to do something different. Oh, if you look back at my YouTube page 5 years ago, I did this project, and I did not realize it was 5 years ago when I went to go do this. I did this cooler project where I packed clay into cutout models or cutout designs with my CNC machine. I carved them out and then packed clay and sanded it smooth and baked it, and it was this thing back then. So I thought, ooh, I think I still have some of that clay kicking around. I'm going to go pull it out, and it was hard as a rock. And there's no way I'm going to be able to use that clay to do what I want to do. It was pretty much rubber. I was able to cut it, but I couldn't form it or shape it. So I'm thinking I'm going to try this one first, which is one that I engraved the circles. And I don't need a deep layer of material to give it texture and look cool. What I did find in my box of stuff from a bazillion years ago was this. And this is air dry clay, no baking, dries hard. So I thought, well, maybe if I try this stuff, I might be able to do something and then paint the top. That way it won't look like a flat paint, it'll actually look like paint. instead of looking like a glass surface. So we're going to try this and see how it comes out. Really just making this up as I go. So let's give it a try and see how this air clay with paint on it comes out. What would you guys use for this? If you wanted to make a textured surface on something as you're working, what would your medium be for trying that? Would you go with the colored modeling clay, just buy fresh? Would you try something like this, a natural clay that's paintable? So down in the comment section, tell me, what would you use? Or what have you used that's been successful? Alright, I'm going to go try this while you guys type. Alright. By the way, who else has this silverware pattern? It was the silverware that I used growing up as a child. Okay, so I did this on a cookie sheet because I didn't want to make a mess. Threw some tin foil down. I only packed one of these because I really like the way this came out. But I would like to do the experiment of seeing how this comes out when it's dry. So I know it says I can air dry this, but as we've already established on my channel, I have the patience of a 2-year-old. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in a 200-degree oven for a half hour, 45 minutes, and see if that speeds the process along, because I'm pretty sure all we're doing is drying this out. I'll be back in a little while. Why don't you guys wait here, and I'll go take care of this. Alright. Okay, so after our little experiment, we threw them in the oven for 40 minutes at 200 degrees, and the clay shrank. So this is the one that's the cut through, and the pieces just pop right out. This one did the same thing. This is the one that I engraved, and the pieces popped right out when I took it out of the oven. Fell right off. So I used a little bit of accelerator spray and super glue. Tight bond to the rescue. So that's my conclusion at this point, guys. Worked perfectly, and now we're going to go throw some paint on it. I gotta say, I am extremely happy. It came out nice. The clay painted beautifully. I'm simply using Red Barrel acrylic paints. 2 coats of paint. Some of my paints are older, some of my paints were a little watered down, but they look amazing. I will throw a few pictures up in the corner of it sitting there with the fancy camera. Fits perfect. Do I wish I had used a better wood? Yes, I do. But I also know that this isn't going to be here forever. This is something that I'm probably going to start playing with these and making a couple more, because I was on Etsy today looking at some SVG files of cool things to put on there. There's a Baby Yoda one, there was a sunflower. There's some really cool button covers. So if you like this idea, go get one, try it, play with it, have some fun. Show me what your creations are. Remember guys, down below I'd love to see what material you would have used to fill the gaps in. Would you have just made a score line and painted? What's your idea? Alright, remember like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for coming by. Have fun, laser on.